Yo, it's me, it's CSCOTT, and finally, I have finished all the reviews I need to do for 31 on 31. I've hoped. A bunch have changed, because, either it was The Fly, and I was like, oh, I need to have this on there, or there were some movies I found on Tubi that I could add to it. Alright. So, hey, wait a minute, that one should be on this list. So, yes. And after this review is uploaded, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to gather all the stuff that I have on physical media. And I'm going to do a video showing you all the movies that I'm going to go through. And I'm going to be reviewing on the 31st. Not reviewing, ranking on the 31st. But let's talk about this movie right here. Re-Animator. A movie I've never seen. Half of these movies I've never seen, but this one, most definitely. I've been trying to get my hands on these. They're fucking expensive as hell to get the Blu-rays, because they're all like Vestron releases, so they're very expensive. So it's hard for me to get there. And I was surprised. After I got done watching The Prowler, it then suggested for me to watch Re-Animator. I'm like, wait. What? And so I searched it in a little thingy, and it had all three on there. So eventually I'll do the sequels. I'm going to try to do the sequels during Halloween Horror Month, but for now, let's talk about the first film. Re-Animator, directed by the great Stuart Gordon, who directed my favorite episode, well, at least of the first season, of Masters of Horror. I've not watched the second season. I know that it's the John Carpenter one was good too, but it's my favorite one. Dreams in the Witch House, Stuart Gordon, with the producer Brian Usna, who directed Society, which is another good movie, which I didn't put on this list because it's not really a well-known horror movie. I'm putting well-known ones on here, so. And Prowler may not be well-known, but I feel like it should be on the list. And stars Jeffrey Combs as Herbert West, Barbara Crampton as Megan, and her boyfriend Dan is played by Bruce someone. Forgot his name. But anyway, in this movie, Herbert West is a medical student who moves from Germany after an incident to the setting of the film, which I don't remember. It was like New York, Pennsylvania, something like that. It was a Stephen King movie, Maine. But he moves there, and he soon moves in with Dan, and soon he starts using his reagent to bring the dead back to life. I just want to say that I don't know the other two that did. There were 3 special effects artists on this film. One of them I do know, that's the late great John Carl Beechler. And the effects that they did on this are fantastic. The gore effects, everything. Just fantastic. The reanimated corpses are great. Apparently the director of photography had a big problem because they're all dudes. And so there was a lot of problems. As he stated, it's the Veenies. I got too many Veenies in my shot. Because they don't want to get too many full frontal weenies. That's going to make it almost pornographic, and they don't want that. It was actually released unrated, believe it or not, this movie. So, yeah. This film was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. But I do have a question. So, Herbert West is confronted by Professor Hill, Dr. Hill, whatever. He's this guy. He's actually the main villain of the movie, believe it or not. He has designs on Megan, and so he confronts Herbert and ends up dead. So Herbert decides to bring him back to life, and he injects the syrup not only in... He cuts the guy's head off, and he injects the syrup into the head. And I'm like, Okay, that makes sense. See if that works. But then he goes down, he injects the syrup, the serum, in the headless body. I'm like, why would you do that? That is incredibly stupid. Plot convenience, of course, because they need to have this villain have a way to leave Herbert's laboratory. Because I'm sitting there going, why? Why wouldn't you just try to... Why wouldn't you try the head first and then the body? Because he gets to control his body, huh? And he does. And, he attacks Herbert West, knocks him out, takes everything, and takes the, he tries to experiment on Megan. And he controls... Megan's father is like the first big one that they bring back. There's this other guy, this muscle-bound guy, who's apparently a stunt double for Arnold Schwarzenegger a few times. But he gets brought back, but he's been dead too long. So after this corpse kills the dean, who is Megan's father, they bring him back. But then he goes to a mental institution and he's controlled by Hill. And there was actually a subplot that showed that Hill had hypnotic powers, and they dropped it from the film. But they still kept the fact that he could hypnotically control the undead, reanimated version of the Dean. Which, they dropped it. I don't know. But it does make sense because there is a scene. Like, Megan and Dan, they go to dinner. They meet up with her dad and Hill at a dinner before all this goes down. And, I guess the dean doesn't like Dan, and they go off, and then after stuff starts to happen, Dan goes to Hill and tells him Herbert West created a serum that can bring people back to life. Not Hill, but the dean goes to the dean and tells him that Herbert West created a serum that bring back to life, and he is totally dismissive. He says that Herbert West is kicked out. He says that he's going to defund everything that Dan has been doing. And eventually he's going to lose his tuition. He's going to be kicked out too. But, yeah. And I guess the deleted subplot would explain that. He was under Hill's control, hypnotic suggestion, to do that. So that would explain it. But they took it out, so now it's just like... Why is it so dismissive? You think he would give this a chance, but he doesn't. And then when I'm watching this, I'm like, see, now he sees to see this dead guy. He's like up against the door. He's like, what's going on in there? I'm like, he's gonna see this. The dead guy's gonna come out. He's gonna see it. Then the dead guy rushes through the door and squishes the guy, and then eventually ends up killing him. And I'm just like, but why didn't they just have him show that it worked? Why'd they have to kill him, though? The whole point was trying to convince him that it worked. But I guess they wanted him dead. Anyway, there's some titties in this, which is always good for a horror movie, titties. It's a very sexualized and gory type of film. And it works. This film is fantastic. I absolutely enjoyed it. I give it a 9 out of 10. For Re-Animator. So what are your thoughts on Re-Animator? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Join me on the journey. I'm going to do the other two sequels, Bride of Re-Animator and the Beyond Re-Animator. And I just want to say the ending to this. Megan gets killed, choked by a zombie, or whatever, the reanimated corpse. And they're trying to bring him back to life. Can't. Herbert is killed off-screen, apparently, but he's not dead. He's just dragged away off-screen. Dragged away to off-screen. And so he throws his bag to Dan. And so when they can't bring Megan back to life, Dan takes the serum, puts it in a syringe, and goes to inject it. It goes black, except for the serum, which glows. And then as in you hear Megan scream. So she the bride Re-Animator, I don't know. I'll have to wait till the sequel to find out. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. 9 out of 10. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.